Oh, look at that. This is Panama City. What's good, everyone? It's Zigzag here, and welcome back to a very exciting video on my channel today. As we all know, Geoguessr is a game that's completely built on Google Street View, so it's extremely exciting and rare when a new country drops. It only happens maybe once a year at max. And today, not only did we get a brand new country, but we got massive updates to a number of countries as well. So the new country that everyone's talking about right now is Panama. We'd known for a long time that they were driving this country, but I think it took them over a year to drop this coverage. And extremely excitingly, it's very extensive, going for the whole country. Now, people were a little bit concerned that they wouldn't drop the whole country because the last two countries to get added, which were Rwanda and Qatar, neither of those had full coverage. They were only in the capital city. Now, speaking of Qatar, if you hop over here, you can see Qatar just had the whole country drop as well, which is super exciting. It was quite easy to distinguish from United Arab Emirates before because it was pretty much only coverage near hotels or big landmarks. Well, now we can have all different kinds of rounds in Qatar. Obviously, it's a pretty monotonous looking country, pretty flat, pretty dry, but it's going to be fun nonetheless to have those little 50-50s between the two countries. The other thing that everyone's talking about right now is that Greece got its first update since 2019, which also includes a few brand new islands, which is one of the great things about Greece. There's always new islands to cover. You can see many of them here have no coverage at all. And this also means that the copyright date for 2019 in Greece is no longer useful, or at least no longer nearly as useful as it used to be. So that's also a nice one for you guys who don't like the copyright matters. There are actually so many places covered in this new update, but one of the huge news ones is that we got Monaco coverage in Generation 4 for the first time. There was a tiny bit that spilled over from France before, but now we actually have the whole country in this crisp 2021 coverage. I don't know why they released the 2021 coverage right now, but that's fine with me. Yes, it's not really the hardest country, but it is nice to have because it hadn't been updated for over 12 years. And finally, some bad news is that Google is often moving to this lower quality camera where it wants to cover countries cheaply. So it recently did Cambodia in this coverage as well and published that in this big update, which is not really good news. No one really likes this coverage, especially when there's already the high quality Generation 3 coverage out there. But yeah, so I'm about to go show you some of the new coverage on the new countries, but I also wanted to show you some other cool coverage that dropped. So we got this road over here for the first time in Generation 4. Obviously, this is like way in the middle of nowhere, so it's really cool to have this brand new coverage here. Then we have Nias Island here in North Sumatra. This is the first time it's ever gotten Generation 4 camera. You can see it's quite a small island over here, so to have that in Generation 4 is pretty cool, I think. Definitely Indonesia's a country where they do a great job. And by the way, if you're wondering why Aceh doesn't have much coverage, it is because of like political tensions, I believe, so kind of interesting. Now, they also did spot Google cars recently on one of these islands up here in Ternate. So that's going to be really interesting to see when it comes out. Unfortunately, didn't drop with this coverage, but that's fine. And yeah, guys, let us react to the new coverage. My good friend Maka made some maps for me, so let's just get in here and see what we think of this new coverage. Hopefully have some cool locations. I'll have this challenge linked in the description if you want to play it first, just to see how you compare to me, but shouldn't be too crazy anyway, because it's just going to be the new countries. And wow, look at this. So I would assume out of the new countries we're talking, this should be Panama, because we've got what looks to be a lot of like painted palm trees here. This Google car, I'm not really sure. This is probably pretty similar to the one we have in Qatar as well, to be honest. Oh, look at this place. This is so cool. You know, it's almost like an exact mix of Brazil and Mexico from what I've seen so far. I've not seen much. We've got round concrete poles here. Very interesting buildings. Look at this one. I wouldn't really pick that for any country. Kind of almost looks Brazilian, but not quite. And this is awesome. So, wow, what a beautiful location. Now, we seem to have ocean south here. Let me turn on my favorite compass. And if that is the case, we should guess somewhere on the south coast here. Doesn't really feel like Panama City, so I was thinking maybe somewhere out this kind of region. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what I think of this one. But we have to be at some beach facing south. Let's go here. Okay, it was down here instead. What a beautiful country. Honestly, I'm very keen to see more of the Panama rounds that we're going to get here. And looks like we're in Panama again here. So I'm noticing this ribbed antenna is definitely going to be something that helps newer players get the country. But single yellow line, definitely, like if I had to go here and I didn't know that this was Panama, then I would be thinking maybe Mexico or Brazil, definitely. But the single yellow line, maybe Mexico. But yeah, it looks more like Brazil, I think. These kind of hills almost feel like the Espírito Santo region. So, wow, very, very beautiful here. Strikingly rocky mountains mixed with a lot of trees. This is a beautiful country. I didn't even really realize that. It's a bit dry here. I don't really know where that would make you go. No doubt we'll kind of learn that as we go along, but maybe Santa Fe region, let's try that one out. It was a little bit further west in the mountains there. Wow, so we even get some of these white roads. That's really exciting that we get like a bit of rural coverage. Okay, next one here. Oh, look at that. This is Panama City. Panama City, if you don't know, is a really huge city, a really important city because of the canal. And I would assume, are we out on this thing here? Do we see a museum there? Yeah, we do. Okay, so this is this thing. Wow, I don't know why they built this, but it is very cool. And look at the city. It's a metropolis, isn't it? Actually, quite remarkable. I don't even think... It kind of looks like a Miami or something like that, right? It's kind of got that kind of vibe to it. The amount of money here is actually surprising. I mean, Panama's not really a rich country, I would say, but yeah, there we go. That's the 5,000 pointer. Very nice indeed. Hopefully you guys got that one too. Think if you played a bit of Geoguessr, so that one should be pretty achievable. And okay, we're back in... Okay, this is a Panama map, apparently, because I'm pretty sure this is Panama again. Interesting, like the pines are a bit higher in altitude this time. Very beautiful though. Wow, Mac has done a good job with these locations. I think this is somewhere up in the mountains. I'm not really sure where is best to go. Maybe like El Cope. I kind of like that. And okay, it was further over this direction. So that's kind of Costa Rica border there. They should cover Costa Rica next. That would be really cool. I hope they do. But let's not get greedy. I'm happy with Panama, especially because it's such a big country. Really, you can easily drop quite a few points. And this one is, of course, Monaco. Doesn't really look like anywhere else in the world, does it? Maybe Nice, but yeah, Monaco in itself is pretty unique, right? So let's just head it over there. And indeed, we're correct. So there we go, 22,000. Definitely a beautiful start here. And let's head through to some Qatar, I'm assuming, which should be probably less interesting. All things considered, it is the less beautiful country than Panama, but I'm still keen to see how it looks here. Well, this is pretty cool. Wow, look at that bright blue water. So this almost, it looks like the kind of the Palm in the UAE. So I wonder what the Qatar equivalent is. Probably this area here, right? This is pretty cool. I can't lie. I wonder how much of their water they're wasting to get this green. Pretty crazy. And this gentleman's pretty tall. But yeah, I mean, it's quite beautiful actually. I mean, I think I kind of prefer it to the similar equivalent places in the UAE. But there we go. I think I'll guess on this thing. If it's not there, then I guess it'll be on this thing. Maybe that's more likely here. The Doha port. Is this a port? I think this is more of a jetty, right? Doesn't really look like it's very commercial. So yeah, I would switch back up here, I guess, somewhere there. And yeah, it was nearby there. So yeah, beautiful. Okay, let's see what's on the next one here. Ooh, so this, I guess, is Greece. New coverage in Greece, maybe? Or is this a different thing altogether? Maybe we've got something else here. I would kind of expect a double line in Greece, but this still could be. What about the bollards down there? Oh, maybe I'm missing something here, but this definitely, yeah, it definitely looks like it. Yeah. So 2023 Greece coverage. This is kind of how it can look, I guess. Let's see if I'm right about that. I guess it should be somewhere pretty northern, unless we could somehow be on Crete here. Ooh, this could be Generation 4 Crete. But maybe it's too many pines. I think the pines would make us go more so near Bulgaria. So I'm going to go up here. Where is it actually going to be? Yeah, it is up there. Very cool mountain pass there. Very, very nice coverage. And that brand new Generation 4 coverage as well. Okay, next one here. Okay, this should be Greece again. Similar kind of region, I guess. We don't have as many pines this time, so maybe a bit further south or something. This one could be Crete. I don't see a good reason why not. It could just be like in the middle of winter in Crete, for sure. Because Crete's very dry and hot, but you can see this kind of thing. I'm going to try Crete here. As a guess. And okay, it was this island here. So Limnos, I don't think that was covered before. I think this is one of the new islands, if I had to guess. I don't think I've ever gotten around there yet. So that is a really cool addition, especially because this island, I believe, is covered in Turkey. So they're really kind of close together there. Pretty interesting. Okay, next one here. This should be some of the new bad coverage in Cambodia, I guess. Now, this could actually be difficult. I could definitely see people go in the wrong place here. Obviously, we have the language, but it kind of looks like Nigeria. So, yeah, I could definitely see this one creating some interesting toss-ups in the future, but for now, it's quite simply easy. And for the final one here, we have some camels, so this should be rural Qatar somewhere here. And I was thinking maybe somewhere a bit further south, but... yeah, I feel like most Qatar rounds are going to look like this, so it's going to be difficult to get that exact region. Very pale road, I've noticed. That's kind of interesting. Could be useful for guessing Qatar in the future, perhaps. Because I feel like UAE normally has darker roads than this. But yeah, I will, I guess we'll go, like, somewhere all the way out. I think it was a road that went down here. I'll try this. Again, it was down this region here. Very, very dry, very deserty. But I think that's the whole country, right? Okay, so there we go. Let's head through to this third seed here. Hey, here we go. And I would say maybe this is Panama. Yeah, this is Panama again. We can see the car here. But look how... This is amazing, guys. I think this could definitely, like, if you pan it like this, you can't see any Google car meta, which is the great thing about NMPZ. I could definitely see people going crazy guesses here. Like, this doesn't really look like much else on Geoguessr. Maybe Africa or something, almost, with these trees. I'm not really sure what types they are, but yeah, maybe you could go Colombia or Brazil or Mexico. It's a really interesting kind of feel to this round. We have lots of palms there. Very beautiful. I kind of thought like this maybe looked a bit further like the west stuff we had near David here, so I'll try that. And it was just on this peninsula here. Wow. So we're getting some really cool roads here. This is actually genuinely exciting. Next one here should be Greek island of some kind. Maybe this felt a bit more like maybe one of the West Islands or something like that. I wonder if we have a location like on this island or something like that, because that could certainly make sense to me. Well, we do see mainland over there to our east, so I'll try that. Okay, it was all that. Well, we were looking at Turkey there actually, I think. So that's a really beautiful round again, and I think this is a new island. As far as I know, all the locations he included are the new islands. So Samos there being a new addition to the crew, very, very cool. Some more Cambodia, but this is actually a very cool round. So I think people could probably confuse this for India. Where India, you would probably see some of the Google car, but or some of the non-Google car, rather, because they're not actually owned by Google. But yeah, I don't know, interesting. I think you often kind of see this kind of coverage, like maybe near the Thai border or something like that. I'll try that on this occasion. Okay, no, it was just in the center there, in one of those forests. Back in, okay, this is a much more interesting looking Qatar. We have a lot of trees going on here. I could definitely see someone like confusing this with Northern Africa, Tunisia kind of thing, even though it's the new coverage, so you probably wouldn't. Wooden poles as well. Wait, am I even in the right continent? Yeah, this is indeed Qatar, but yeah, it looks very interesting for Qatar standards. Okay, this gives me hope that we might actually have some interesting rounds to get out of the new Qatar coverage. So I guess if it's this green, we could click in like this. No, it doesn't. Maybe this area here. We have like a national park looking thing. I'm gonna go there. Where's it actually gonna be? Okay, wow. Okay, so there are these like parks. There are these parks scattered around. There's a bunch of them. So hopefully they make some interesting rounds. You know, I think they actually have potential too. Wow, look at this mountain. This is so worth it, guys. Worth the wait. And also I like the fact that the car is mostly hidden, even though it is a big blur. So there we go. That's the place names. Again, round poles, kind of interesting. This insulator is not typical for other countries. It's very kind of stuck to the pole. It's probably a meta. Yeah, it probably is. Ooh, that's definitely unique from what I've seen. But yeah, I feel like that's going to be definitely a big clue for guessing the country in the future. But this for now is, you know, just somewhere in the center of the country for me. I think just could it just be outside Panama City? I think it's more likely to be like Santa Fe area, this kind of thing here. I'll go Buenos Aires. Okay, it was instead over here near Chica. Okay, so there we go. I mean, that is really exciting stuff, guys. Now, just before I end off the video, I wanted to give you guys a quick overview of the future coverage that is theorized about where Google cars have been spotted, or indeed where, you know, people have talked about different jobs going for Google car driving and that kind of thing. So here we go. So Panama is actually out now. I didn't know that, but Malta has been spotted, which is really cool. Looking forward to have Generation 4 there. That's going to be exciting. Mongolia also has Generation 4 being driven at the moment, which is really cool. Rwanda has areas outside the capital, which we're waiting for. Then we've also got normal car coverage in the UAE still to look forward to as well. South Korea actually has a whole bunch of unreleased coverage. In fact, the whole rest of the country is unreleased. And as far as I know there, the story is that the South Korean government technically owns any like coverage you do in that country. So Basically, we are waiting to see if they kind of loosen up the laws a little bit there, or if they allow Google to publish it. But yeah, that's kind of the story there. Might be a similar deal in Vietnam, which is another country they have completely covered, apparently, in the past, but just hasn't been re-released or whatever. So that would be so cool. Russia actually has a bunch of missing coverage. San Marino. Yeah, we got the Monaco stuff now. Isle of Man. Okay, this is some older stuff that's unlikely to be released, but the Isle of Man Gen 3. Belarus had Minsk coverage in Generation 3. India had the whole of Bangalore covered, but didn't get released, and a whole bunch of other stuff here. But yeah, guys, shoutouts to Mappa and everyone over on the Virtual Streets Discord. Really appreciate all the work they do. Really made this video a whole lot easier to make as well, especially because if you actually look at Panama at the moment, these lines I don't think actually correspond to official coverage. If you do pick a place that has unofficial coverage, then you should be able to go here and update it to the Google coverage, so you can see what downtown is going to look like in Panama City, but it's kind of hard to find locations like that, so you just kind of have to look around. It's not all available yet. The blue lines will appear, that's how it kind of works, but same goes for the other countries as well, so just be patient. All the things will be viewable. I forgot to mention that Panama has regional license plates, I think, so we're going to have a bit of fun learning here to do on Panama. But, guys, thank you so much for watching the video all the way to the end. I hope this really shakes things up at the World Cup. It should be interesting to see how it plays out. And, yeah, give it a like. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.